What is up, guys? Welcome. This is a live Work Tough Gear. Obviously, listen, I am broadcasting on my channel, which is natively, my name is Joe Steele, broadcasting from JS Bladecraft is my channel, but I'm broadcasting right now simultaneously onto Scab's channel at Choir Boys Outdoors. So yes, you are not looking at Scab. You are running to the right station. You're in the right channel, but this is not Scab. Okay, sorry to disappoint you. But no, I had spoken to Scab earlier. We're both partners on Blade Talk with Scab and Joe, and we're both trying to kind of spread the word also with Work Tough Gear and the new drops that are coming in today today being December 19th, 24, 5 o'clock Pacific time and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You're going to have two drops on worktoughgear.com that will be the Steadfast and the Hellion. The Hellion was a monster freaking buoy from Zeke Minacho. And then you also have, which I don't have with me, but I do have the Steadfast from Calvin Richardson. Now, I did a full review on this knife. I did a lot of shorts, a lot of reviews. I did hiking with this knife. This knife is just utterly fantastic. There's so much to love about this knife, and this is definitely a vibe knife for me. And if you guys caught our Blade Talk with Scab and Joe and caught any of Scab's videos on the Hellion from Zeke Minacho, I mean, that is one hell of a freaking knife. I got to tell you, it's one hell of a buoy, and you'll definitely get shit done with that thing. It's a beautiful knife, great craftsmanship. I just love it to death. So if you guys are joining me from Choir Boys Outdoors, this is Joe Steele from JS Bladecraft. I am broadcasting on both channels simultaneously. I'm hoping the quality is coming in okay because I'm outdoors. It's not going to be long because it's freaking cold in New York right now. It's not Florida, unfortunately. And hoping my audio is coming in okay. So, Jerbs, thanks, Jerbs, for coming in. JD's in the room. Donald's in the room. Guys, let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. And I'll show you a couple Work Tough Gear knives. And again, we're just basically just trying to tout the new drop of the Steadfast knife. I'd rather get you a nice view of the knives themselves. Guys, Work Tough Gear is just, I mean, there's not a bad knife out of the mix. Now, what I said was when you review one Work Tough Gear, you have reviewed all of them, because to the point where the consistency of all their knives in terms of the edge retention, everything about these knives is just consistent no matter which one you review or which one you test. Now, this is actually the Zeke Minacho. It's called the Bushcrafter. I mean, this is a dry piece of wood, and I've used this knife a shitload. And it's just the comfort in the hand as far as they're purpose-driven, man. You could beat these things up. You can work with them. You can carry them every day. You could do whatever you need to do with them. They will not fail you. I mean, that's pretty much what they come down to. I did a whole bushcrafting video on this. This is such a great bushcrafting knife. You got to strike the ferrule on the back. Look at the spine. Look at that point. Look at that amazing handle. Now, the crazy thing is, this is Zeke Minacho and the Hellion that's being dropped today at Work Tough Gear. The handle was just like a miniature version of the handle of the Hellion. And I think this handle, in terms of this size knife, is just utterly fantastic. But listen, the list goes on and on, guys. I mean, you have Wingman 115, John Heffron. Look at the spine of that knife. Full tang, red liners. Look at the blade, that big belly of the blade. Look at the, hope the phone is doing it justice, but this is the Mount Laguna from Wingman 115, John Heffron. Okay, excellent knife as well. They all perform exactly the same. Now, if you want to get into some of the bigger knives, here is the Carnivore Gen 2 of Eric Outer from Outer Limitless designed this. Look at the size of the handle. I know some people had said they wanted a bigger handle. This is definitely a bigger handle, a lot more purchase for extra large, double X, triple X hands. I mean, there's not a hand on the planet that's not going to be able to hold this knife comfortably. But if you have even smaller hands, basically setting yourself back and using this basically the momentum as a chopper, I mean, it's definitely something you can't use for that. I mean, they're all purpose-driven to just work, guys. They're all purpose-driven to work. Working on a vertical frame here, so I'm trying to get everything in there. So setting yourself back with the Carnivore, a hell of a chopper, hell of a knife, man. Ooh, there goes the knife. All right, that's the carnivore. Now, if you want to go even bigger than that, again, here's a Steadfast that's dropping today. Also, okay, it's a fighting style knife, but this knife will work. This knife will do the chopping test. Okay, not as good as the bigger knives, but you know what? It's a utilitarian knife. It's a knife. It's basically the contour and the geometric of a fighting knife or a self-defense knife. But the way the grinds on, the saber grind and the micro-convex edge, and just the toughness of the overall knife, if you need to basically process chopped wood, you can do it. Okay, you got a spot here to strike a ferro rod, but then if you want to pick this up and feather stick with it, I mean, it's sharp as shit. This thing is incredibly sharp. I did a full review on this thing, and this thing is still slicing wood as if it was completely brand new. I mean, you could see basically how this thing performs. And this is curling up wood that's kind of dried up wood. And you guys know that dried up wood doesn't curl up as good. But this is, look at that. I'm not getting into the camera. Steadfast. Now, this is after extensive use and a full review. And it's still chopping up and slicing up like as if it just came out of the box. The edge retention on this Bowler 329 is really phenomenal. I'm not looking at the chat, guys. I'm sorry. Donald, I'm just trying to get through this video, guys. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I'll try to look at it after. Shaving sharp, absolutely shaving sharp. And what impresses me the most about this knife is the fact that you could use, basically, you can go in really tight and just do some really fine work with the point and be just as successful, okay, with every part of this knife equally, and then still be aggressive to be a good chopper and a batoner. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. But as an added extra, guys, let me just kind of move some of these knives around. I'm going to show you one of my biggest knives from off grid, and pretty much one of my favorites. If you can hang out for a sec. And so all Choir Boys Outdoors people that are joining me, thank you for joining me, guys. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. Doing a Work Tough Gear show, Mr. Gerbs. Marcus, what's up, buddy? Crystal Ray, what's up? Chemicals can cause brain. Oh, yeah, sure. Angry Jackal opens the room. Kratos is in the room. What's up, Kratos? Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I'm going to finish this up pretty soon and let you know about the drop. But let me show you one more knife. Let me try to frame this out pretty good. This is definitely one of my favorite knives from Off Grid. This is from a really talented guy, talented designer and knife maker, Julio Diaz. This is the Ape X, okay? This is how I hang it. That's why the tassel, this is here, but this is the Ape X Apocalypse finish. That is one hell of a freaking knife. Let me see if I can get you a better view of it. Try to get it all into the frame. It's hard to get this thing in the frame. I'm not good with these vertical videos, guys, especially lives. This is kind of like kukri meets machete, meets Bowie, meets just survival, apocalypse knife. I mean, don't ever call this thing a machete, because, I mean, look at the spine. This is a solid, big chunk of freaking steel. Now, you talk about basically chopping. I mean, yeah. Talk about a chopper. I mean, this thing digs in so deep that it actually gets stuck inside the wood in this angle. Ugh. Yeah, this thing's a beast. And I've chopped with this a million times. This thing keeps on going and going. Nothing is beating up this edge. Obviously, you wrap this thing around a steel pole, you're going to break it. But this freaking thing is a damn beast. This is the Apex Julio Diaz. My point is, guys, to kind of show you a couple of the Work Tough Gear knives to show you how consistent the quality is on all their knives. How basically this knife, which is a Steadfast dropping today, how it's still kind of just a shaving sharp type of knife, even after doing a million reviews. Yeah, I know that's a poo noodle, but it's still got to be sharp to cut it. Phenomenal knife from Calvin Richardson. But basically, no matter what you pick up from Work Tough Gear, they're going to be basically awesome. Do with all types of knives. And they're consistent, and they all freaking work. Big fan of Work Tough Gear. Really big fan of Work Tough Gear. So let me try to close this off. So once again, guys, this is the Steadfast from Work Tough Gear. You know, I have new comments, guys. I'm not keeping up with the chat. I'm sorry. Somebody get Crystal Ray out of the room, please, Jerbs. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know if he's being funny or whatever it is. But this is the Steadfast from Work Tough Gear. Calvin Richardson is the designer. Awesome, basically, utilitarian knife, even though it looks like a badass fighting knife. I love that sweeping edge and all that. We did a Blade Talk with Scab and Joe on my channel, on Scab's channel, where we had a spotlight on the designers. And Calvin was one of the designers, as well as Zeke Menacho, which is releasing the Hellion today. It's dropping on Work Tough Gear's website. So, guys, once again, today is December 19th, 24, 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We are going to have the Steadfast and the Hellion on WorkToughGear.com are going to be dropping. You definitely want to try to get in there, get yourself a Christmas gift, get yourself a loved one a Christmas gift, more or less get yourself one. You're going to love it. You can't go wrong with Work Tough Gear knives, and these are really just two amazing ones that are dropping, and they're going to go fast, so definitely go to WorkToughGear.com. Take a look at them. Again, I'm not trying to sell them, guys. I'm not making a commission on this. I want to share that information to you about Work Tough Gear because I love the company and I want to be able to just make sure that, you know, whoever's interested will be able to get their hands on them. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. Let me see, take a look at the chat. Holy smoking Christmas, the bite it takes. Absolutely, man. I mean, you're talking about the bite that this freaking Apex takes. Amazing, amazing. I mean, you saw this thing was good. It's handled the stuff like a big knife. But when you have one of these things in your hand and you start chopping away, I mean, this thing sinks into that wood like nobody's business. I have never sharpened this thing, guys. It's an SK85. I have never sharpened this. I did full reviews, full samples, full shorts, chopping the shit out of this thing. I have never reprofiled or sharpened or honed this thing. And this thing is still going really strong. I mean, they're good knives. They're good heat tempering. The quality of their stuff is good. That's why you have to get in to the drop when it happens, for the simple reason that they're producing more quality over quantity. And the reason why they do that is so you know that whatever Work Tough Gear knife you have in your hand is going to be up to the standards of quality that you know that you expect to get from Work Tough Gear. And that's why they do these smaller drops, to make sure that they have only the best makers employed to give you the best product. I mean, me personally, if I want to invest in a knife company, I'd rather wait to get the knife that I know the company is standing by than just to make sure that I can get the knife whenever I want. You know, good things come to those who wait is what they say. JD, thank you, man. JJ, everybody in the room, Marcus, Jerbs, as always, thank you for being here. I'm sure you're surprised at seeing me on Scab's channel without Scab here. But I had asked him, and he said, you know, to go on live so we can get the word out as much as we can on Work Tough Gear and on the fact that Steadfast and the Hellion's in his hand. You just can't see it. Hellion knife from Zeke Menacho and the Steadfast from Calvin Richardson is dropping today. So head over to Work Tough Gear, guys. 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Take a look at their knives that are dropping. You're going to love them. Thanks for joining me on a live on Scab's channel and my channel. If you are joining me on Scab's channel, a subscription would be great. Definitely share the love with me as well. He's got a lot more subs than I do. God bless him. He works for it. But thanks, guys, for being here. Better looking Scab? I don't know. All right. You know what? Make sure, what JD, we'll make sure we tell Scab that I am the better looking counterpart to Scab on his channel. So let's make sure we bring that up and bust the chops about that too. Yes, I am very grounded for playing with knives. I think I am. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but I feel I'm grounded for playing with knives. The Angry Jackalope, thanks, guys. Thanks for being here, guys. I saw it was going to be on for 15 minutes. I'm a little bit over. I appreciate you guys here. I know that basically there's a couple people in the room. You want me to chop some more stuff off here? I can, and then I'll kind of close it off after that. Here is the Steadfast. Now, what impresses me the most about this, guys, is the fact that this thing went through hell already. It did a lot of cutting, and it still basically has the same edge that it had when I first took this thing out of the box. I mean, it's really the edge retention on this Bowler 329 is pretty damn phenomenal. And from what I understand, it's kind of comparable to 3V. So that's pretty huge. But it's still a pretty sharp ass knife that just keeps on wanting to slice and go and go and go. And it's just so versatile. Very, very comfortable in the hand, man. You know, everything from slicing to doing notches. Basically, if you want to go in tight and use the point, use both your hands and really just get in there and do some notches, you can definitely do that. Or if you want to just make this thing a chopper, set yourself back, be a chopper as well. Fantastic, fantastic knife. I'll chop up with the Apex and then we're going to close it off, guys. I got a couple people that just joined me. Here's the Apex from Julio Diaz. Is this thing still sharp? Should be. Should be. I was just saying, man. I was just saying that basically I haven't freaking sharpened this thing up forever. I've never honed it. I've never done anything with this knife, and it's just still sharp as shit. I mean, it just impresses me so much with the type of edge retention that these knives have, man. The Steadfast is going to be an amazing survival knife. It really was. I mean, listen, I was doing like a makeshift like camping thing, and the Steadfast it felt comfortable. It felt really, really comfortable on my hip. Work tough gear, guys. Apex, Julio Diaz. Doesn't quit, doesn't stop until the job is done. Steadfast and Hellion dropping today on WorkToughGear.com, 5 o'clock Pacific and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. WorkToughGear.com. Absolutely fantastic knife. This one and the Hellion from Zeke Minacho is the designer. They're just, they're great knives, guys. Point this down a little bit. This is the Bushcrafter from Zeke Minacho. This is the Mount Laguna from John Heffron from Wingman 115. And this is the Carnivore Gen 2. Look at that handle. Look at the scales on this thing, man. Look at basically how this thing goes in the hand. It's just amazing. Look at how much purchase there is. And this is, I have about a large extra to between large and extra large. I think my signal's back. I was going in and out of the Wi-Fi. But yeah, guys, before I lose you, Work Tough Gear, guys. Take a look at it. Major knives are dropping. All right. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for joining me. Much appreciated. Peace out, everybody. Work Tough Gear all the way. See you soon, guys. And thanks to all Quiet Boys Outdoors viewers for joining me as well as my channel. Have a good one, guys. Thank you. Chopping in and out. Ciao. Later, Gerbs.